Okay, we are going to solve exponentials, and I kind of like doing these. They're kind of neat how they work out. So what's going to happen is we're going to find x, and obviously on this one, 7 to the what equals 49. Well, it would be 2, right? Because 7 squared is 49. But let me do it maybe a different way for most of these other ones. Let's keep the 7x because 7 is broken down into lowest base. And how could I rewrite 49? Well, we should know that, 7 squared is the same thing as 49. And so if our bases are the same, I can cancel those out. And I'm left with x equals 2. And that's why that is. So I'm going to stop this one for just a minute and go on to the next two to try to show you that that works every single time. Okay, so we have 2x plus 1. I kept the 2 because it's in lowest terms. But the 8 isn't. And don't think of 8 as like 4 or something like that. Think of it as powers of a number, and we should know by now that something times something times something equals 8, right? Because we've used it like over and over and over. So I can take 8 and break it down to a power of 2, or a base of 2, with a power of 3, because 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 to the third is 8. So whenever I get that done, the 2's will cancel out. And I'm left with x plus 1 equals 3. And my goal is to get x by itself, so we're going to subtract the 1, and x equals 2. Keep the 5. And rewrite the 25 as a base of 5 because, that's what's going to happen. So how many 5s does it take to multiply together to get 25? 2. So the 5s will cancel out, and we're left with 2 equals x plus 2. Subtract 2, and x equals 0. Now let's talk about that. If I put 0 in here, then 0 plus 2 is 2, and what is 5 squared? 25, and that's what we got right over there. Oh, okay, so now on this one. Whenever there's a 1 and there is an exponent with x in it, then that power has to equal 0. Anything to the 0 power equals 1. Anything to the 0 power equals 1. Anything to the 0 power equals 1. So if the x is the power and we got 1, then what is x going to be? 0. There was no work to be done on that. Same thing here. Because this is 1, then this has to equal 0. So if we get x by itself and 0 is on top, then again our x is going to be 0. This is 1, so this has to equal 0. Our answer is not going to be 0 this time though. 2x minus 4 to equal 0. Add the 4. Divide by 2. And this time our x is 2. Because 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 minus 4 is 0. And now we have 0 as we exponent into the 0 is 1. 2 to the 3x minus 1. This is a 4, so it has a base of 2. To the second power, the 2's cancel out. We have 3x minus 1 equals 2. Add the 1. Divide by 3. X equals 1. Okay. 125 is not into the lowest base, and 25 is not to the lowest base. So let's take it to the lowest base. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. We should know that by now. If we don't, we need to. 5 times 5 is 25, so 5 squared. But there's an x still in that exponent. The 5's will cancel out. We're left with 3 equals 2x. We're going to divide by 2. We're going to divide by 2. 3 over 2 is reduced, so 3 over 2 is your answer. Okay. There's a couple ways that we could do this one, but I'm going to do it the way that most of you are going to think about it, because you see 8 and 64. 64 can be replaced with 8 squared, because 8 squared is 64. There's still an x up there, and what would the exponent be with just the plain 8? It would be 1, because 8 to the 1 is 8. So we're going to take those 8's out, and 1 equals 2x. We're going to divide by 2. We're going to divide by 2, and 1 over 2 is going to be your answer. 9 to the 1 equals 9 to the second. 3x plus 4, all of that is inside the 4 in the exponent. So the 9's going to cancel out. 1 equals 2, 3x plus 4, because that's all in the exponent. 1 equals 6x plus 8. Subtract the 8, subtract the 8. Negative 7 equals 6x. X equals negative 7 over 6. You can either use a base 4, because 4 times 4 is 16, and 4 times 4 times 4 is 64, or you can use a base 2. Most of y'all would probably do base 4. So 4 to the third is 64. 4 to the second is 16. X minus 1 is still up there. Distribute the 2. Add the 2. Divide by 2. X equals 5 over 2. Alright, something new. We're going to keep this 9 and 4x minus 2. Now, I'm going to keep that 9, but that 9 has been turned into a fraction. How can a whole number be turned into a fraction? Because it is a negative exponent. Then the 9's will cancel out. Add the 2. Divide by 4. 5 squared, 2x minus 3. 5 to the 4 gives you 625. Distribute the 2. Add the 6. Divide by the 2. And you get 5. Alright, now we're going to have to think a little bit. Well, we're going to keep the 2, because it's not going to break down into anything else. So I'm going to make that 1 over 16 a 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. But this is 1 over 16. So that would be a negative 4. With an x. Those cancel out. I have negative 4x equals 1. Divide by negative 4, and we get negative 1/4. So again, 1 over 64 is flipped, so the exponent needs to be negative, and 8 squared is 64. So 4x equals negative 2. Divide by 4, and you get negative 1/2. Those will cancel. Distribute the 2. Add the 4. Subtract the 2x. 6x equals 3. Divide by 6, and you get 1/2.